Well, hello again, geometry. So we're going to be looking at an example here. It's a very similar shape to one that we've seen earlier, but instead of looking at a horizontal or vertical reflection, we are looking at a diagonal reflection. And so the diagonal reflections can either happen one of two ways. And in this example, we're looking at the diagonal that's happening over the line right here. Oh, it didn't. Hold on. There it goes. Y equals X. And so what that actually means here with that vertical line is that when we go to draw our perpendicular lines, it's also going to be at an angle because they're also going to be looking for that perpendicular to our line of reflection. And so applying that here, essentially what ends up happening is when we draw our perpendicular lines to track our new points, we're still making sure that the distances are the same, that we are equidistant. And so from A, we're going to be drawing that perpendicular line. So we're about 1.5 away from our line of reflection. So we're going to go 1.5 away on the other side. And voila, we have A prime. And I can just count on the grid where that ends up. A prime is over 2 on the X and down 1 on the Y. Now, you may be noticing that really we just switched our X and our Y. And if you look at our line of reflection, that kind of makes sense, right? X and Y are flipping because X is Y. Remember, the equal sign means is. And so when we do all of our other reflections, you're going to notice that X and Y are just switching places because our line of reflection is telling us to do that. And so, drawing our next perpendicular line here, we're going to be doing that from B. One, two, about 2.5 again, so we're going to go another half. 1, 2, voila. And so right here we have our point B, and that point B is at 1 on our X and -4 on our Y. So our point B is right there. And it's just not point B, it's point B prime. Now, last but not least, we have point C, and now this one's a little bit further away, which was more than all right. We're just going to have to do more counting. And so from point C, we have 1, 2, 3, 4.5. So there's our half. 1, 2, 3, 4. And here is our point C prime, which is at 4 on our X and -5 on our Y. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have our new shape. We have our image because we were able to track our perpendicular lines. We were able to count how far away they were on both sides, making sure that they were the same distance on both sides. And we have our rigid motion, the reflection of our shape to our new shape. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we can be reflecting it in the other direction as well. And so rather than reflecting it over y equals x, we can be reflecting it over y equals -x. And so for this, we're going to be looking at a shape to be reflecting over that line. Here in our next example, we have a nice right triangle, ABC. We're going to be reflecting it over the line like I described earlier, y equals -x, which means our slope is going to be negative as well. And so here we go, drawing our negative slope. Y equals -x. You could probably make some prediction about what's going to happen with our x and our y coordinates when we do our reflection. I look forward to seeing those predictions being either right or wrong. In either case, well done. So here we go. Let's go ahead and start with the color red and reflect our point A. And so we're going to be counting how many squares we are away with our perpendicular line. and we're about 2.5. 1, 2, and a half. So there's the other half. 1, 2. Here is our new point. And ladies and gentlemen, we are at 2, 3. Now our point A prime is at -3, 2. And you can see that not only did the x and y flip, drop to negative, not only did x and y flip, but they also both turned negative. Both x and y had their signs changed. And if you look at our equation, y equal -x, that makes sense. We're replacing y with x. That's x is equal to y, x is y, but it's also the negative. So whatever y was, now it's becoming a -x. Whatever x was, now it's also flipping, it's becoming the opposite and becoming y. And so not only are they flipping, but the signs are changing as well. And here we are with our next one, point B. We are 1, 2, 3, 4 away. So 1, 2, 3, 4 on the other side. We have point B, which was 5, 3. So we should be -3 and then down 5, which absolutely it is. And then last but not least, point C, 1, 2, 3 onto the left. So 1, 2, 3 onto the right. And we have our point C prime, which is -1, -5. Pardon me, I forgot to put the prime on my B. Absolutely essential. And so, ladies and gentlemen, we have our new point, which means we have our image. We're able to connect the dots and go from A to B prime, B to C prime, and then C prime to A prime. Ladies and gentlemen, no thank you, sticky keys. We have our image and our pre-image, our ABC pre-image with our A prime, B prime, C prime image reflecting over y equals -x. Now I have 2 more examples to work out for you. Everything that I've shown you has been lines that go through the origin. So the origin, remember, is the point 0, 0. Now, the other examples I want to show you are with lines that don't go through the origin, or with a diagram that ends up being a little messy. So let's start with a line that's not through the origin first. Let's go ahead and take this shape right here. And let's reflect it over the line. Here, let me go ahead and use another color here. Right here. Oh, yeah, there's a nice straight line. So let's reflect it over that line there. First, what is that line? We know it's a vertical line. If it's a vertical line, it has as many y values as we can think of, which means it has to be an x equals line. And because there's only one x value that's true here, and that's x is equal to 2. So we're reflecting it over the x equals 2 line. Now, in order to get our new point, we're still doing everything we did before. We're counting how many spaces we are away. We're drawing our perpendicular line so we can plot our new point. And so if I call this point A right here, then our new point is 1, 2 away from our line of reflection, which means we're 1, 2 on the other side. Here is our A prime. And we're going to continue to do that over our line of reflection. It doesn't have to line up with our axes. A lot of them in this particular unit will be lined up with our axes, but not all of them. And when they're not, when our line of reflection is not on an axis, either our x or our y axis, pay close attention to your counting. Make sure you're focused on the line of reflection and that you're on equal distances on either side of that line of reflection. And so, putting that into practice with our next one, let's go ahead and call this point here point B, which means we are going to be counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 away from our line of reflection. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 away, B prime is right here. Last but not least, let's go ahead and take our third point and call that point C. So this point up here is C, which means we're counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 on the other direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And so C prime, happy dandy, right up there at the top. We have all three of our points laid out. So we have our image. It is from A prime to B prime to C prime and back down to A prime for our reflected triangle. Now, ladies and gentlemen, that's looking at a line that is not on the axis. It's still all the same things that we've been doing, counting how far we are to the left and to the right, or up and down from that line. The last example that I'd like to show you is one where you end up with a messy shape. So I'm choosing a shape that's intentionally not clean. Unlike every other example we've done so far, the shape has been clean because it has not overlapped on the line. But the shape can overlap your line of reflection, which means that the image and the pre-image are actually overlapped. So, ladies and gentlemen, in this example, we have our shape ABC over the line y equals x. So it is overlapped. And so all the steps that I've described already are the same. We're drawing our perpendicular line, we're counting how far away we are, and we're just plotting our new point. It just so happens that it's going to be looking a little messier. So let's do A first here. So A is only one step away, so one step away on the other side, we get A prime. Do the same thing for B, except B is 1, 2, 3 steps away on the other side now. 1, 2, 3. So there is B prime. And now do the same thing for C. C is one step away. Go one more step, and we get C prime. So what does our new shape look like then? Our new shape is connecting those 3 points. So from C to B, from B to A, and then from A back to C again. And so does it look messy? Yes, but it's all the steps that we've done before applied in the same way. It just doesn't look as clean. So that's why color is incredibly helpful. It's why being able to show your work and have that separate piece of paper to work it out on is absolutely helpful. And ladies and gentlemen, for this unit, even though it's online and we have online quizzes, the thing that I would suggest is to absolutely draw the diagram out in your own notes to help you think through the problem and do the quizzes and do the practice. And being able to do that is absolutely immeasurably helpful in order to pulling this off. So, good luck. Thank you guys, and I look forward to seeing you this week.